Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, while we wait, instead of sitting idle, go to Mamuk, do the dailies. Average wait time 7 minutes. Everyone is in the new boss chair. What is a mount? That's weird. I don't know. Caligarmando, I guess. Wow. I'm a bit nah. Nah. Not possible. Ah, what a pity. Yeah, I think it's just Garmanda. Can we stop bullying Red for the love of God? What? What the hell? I don't believe he survived. Come on. Hello. How are you, Layla? No. If we push towards north. Oh, come on now, man. Like, don't tell me no one's push north. We should have gone here, honestly. Yeah, like, go yellow. Why would you go red? This is a big joke, honestly. But we did. Was a big joke, honestly. Like, we just gave away the match. Like, honestly, gonna be for yellow. This is totally over. We lost. up the end? I don't know how the hell we won. I don't know. Like, look how much damage he did. Like, I couldn't push more, you know? Jesus Christ. Well, we won. That's all that matters. Are you finding a new patch, Lila? Give me 1 second, please. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. More cards. Here we go. Position, no, this is probably from the Occult Present. Okay. And And now we can go as warrior and to Tuliyola. Good content. Here we go. Okay. We go to the Wachumeki Meki. Okay. Division Messenger. One last hooray. Division Messenger casts his gaze expectantly above the harbor. You're 2020, aren't you? Just the man I was after, as it happens. Old Kitten Ramnat tasked me with finding you. Says he has got a proposition for you. Right there. I'll go fetch him. My face. Apologies for coloring you like this, but I was hoping we could parley before you took leave of Tuliyola. Okay. I'll cut right to the chase. I want you on board for a mixed fine expedition. Before I get into the particulars, allow me to spin a quick yarn. These days, the Nearsian sailor worth their salt, bound for Tural, take the established route and skirt the southern Indigo Deep. Okay, that is true. The bag with maps of the realm were nothing but blank parchment past Billbrand. All we had was the allure of the horizon to guide us. Most of me fellow explorers weighed anchor and cut across due west, heading straight for adventure. Alas, those were lost to the waves. The crew and I reached Tural on account of us ringing northward and avoiding the same treacherous waters that claimed them. Okay. Actually, give me 1 second, please. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So, that stretch of the deep came to be known as Shade's Triangle. I had a notion to solve its mysteries on behalf of my fallen comrades. After arriving on the shores, it was the land of the sea that promised adventures anew. Once settled here in this bandit expedition, never did get the opportunity. That is actually very true. What he's saying, for those that are nerds like me, what he's claiming, it's true. It's actually recorded in the first volume of the Eurasian Encyclopedia. It's in the first book. Let me find it. It's here. In the geography section. It's actually said in the southern seas. It says the follow. The seas far to the south of Eurasia also teem with countless tiny islets. Excepting the occasional squall, proximity to Heidelin's equator blesses these islands with a warm, pleasant climate. It is from these islands where the Lalafell originated using catamaran-like ships connected to their civilizations. Wait, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this is not... Okay, here, sorry. The New World. Sorry, this is it. The New World. The final of Heidelin's three major landmasses lies far to the west of Eurasia. Beyond the boundless ocean known as the Indigo Deep. Despite the dearth of ancient epics and historical tomes to support the land's existence, as recently as 80 years ago it was debated whether or not the place was not more than mere literary exaggeration. That is, until a sea wolf adventurer hailing from Lim Salaminsa named Ketan Ram, the Blue rediscovered the region upon sailing west for 2 months straight. Notwithstanding the sailors' repeated attempts to name the region Ketenland, the New World remains the term most commonly used today. Not only did Ketan Ram and his crew discover the landmass, but they also spent several months exploring Ireland, eventually encountering the denizens of the sprawling nation of Mamulja. Ketan Ram was even granted audience with the nation's supreme leader, to whom he presented various gifts from his Eurasian home. These rare gifts impressed the leader so much that he presented him with a massive idol forged from pure silver, as well as allowance to roam free about his nation during their stay. And Ram used this opportunity not only to map the land, gather mere root vegetables and seeds to carry back to Lim Salminsa. Many staples in modern-day Eurasian diets, such as ogre pumpkins, ruby tomatoes, potatoes, and alligator pears, are all transplants from the New World. While distance prevents much modern-day interactions between the New World and Eurasia, recent years have seen an influx of Mamulja mercenaries making the trip from their homeland to make profit from the unrest in the east. That is very true. Because I'm reading the rest. That's it. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I can offer. Okay, let's keep going. But then I crossed paths with a certain round-renowned adventurer and began to wonder. Something told me that with their help, I've finally shed light on the mystery of those accursed waters. So how about it? Would you join this old explorer on one final jaunt? In my honor. Hey, you could, couldn't you? As we told him before Gulu Jaja asked me to watch over Koana and Muklamat, I feared I'd never see again. And he wrote, I sensed the pair where it was to me worrying, so I laid it all bare. And you say the mystery of Shade's Triangle has haunted you since? The region of which you speak is an impediment to trade with foreign nations. Any effort to unravel its secrets will ultimately benefit Tuliyul. Sounds like it might be the last chance you get, especially if you're hoping to get 2020 involved. Besides, Papa will turn in his grave if we bird his old friend from one final voyage. They say follow your heart, Tangwa. Yeah, that's fair. I'm sure you will be wanting more details, but I'd like to set sail sooner rather than later. Let's reconvene, once we have put a few months between us and the harbor. The ship is ready and waiting. Others sent over from Linz especially. When you're ready, speak with Offan Game over their pier. Okay. Tell you what. I'm going to take 5 minutes, right? Oh. Okay, I'm back. Vision brings it all to me. Anyway, let's talk to Open Game. I'm Tony, I presume. Kitten Ram told me all about you. The name's Open Game, navigator by trade. The say Shade's Triangle is wrecked with storms year round, but a closer look at this chart will tell you that ain't strictly true. For every season the sky is clear and the sea is calm, hence why the old explorer is eager to wait anchor. What's the matter? Don't tell me you're worried of clambering onto this little rowboat. We're not rowing on the way to Shade's Triangle, our vessel is waiting out beyond the shallows. Whatever. And you're good and prepared to leave? Just say the word. Ready to plot a course for waters unknown, are you? I don't know whether to respect your metal or question your sanity, but welcome aboard Shade's Triangle, here we come. Okay, in deck 1. Plain sailing thus far. Might be time to talk about our destination. Shade's Triangle is a churning mess of storms, so every time a vessel goes missing in the region must blame the treacherous conditions. But here it is, there are records of the last ship seeking to chart those waters, and the message they relay to their escort is best in strange. Conditions fair. Present Shade's Isle, side and vicinity. Potential safe haven during storms, attempting to make landfall. They never made it back to port, despite the calm seas. Folks been taken to calling the island the occult crescent ever since. They say it's not but a shifting mirage that claims the lives of all who sight it. Everyone on board knows the risk involved in a voyage like this, but they are nothing like the thrill of the unknown to prompt good sense. The whiff of mystery and the promise of new discovery is hard to resist. Am I right in thinking the same applies to you, adventurer? Yep. Anyhow, why didn't you get acquainted with the rest of the crew? I'll be here checking the charts. Once you've got the measure of the folks risking their hides along with you, come and find me. This aim first trip to these waters, I've sailed close to Shade's Triangle to survey the weather many a time. Only on the clearest days, when the seas fall out as a glass, do you get a glimpse of the island. It looks unremarkable from a distance, but that's exactly what the poor bastards who went missing must have thought. Where they pluck up the courage to take a closer peek, curious as I was. But when I heard Captain Brown was leading an expedition into the heart of the triangle, I signed right up. Don't get me wrong, I've still got my reservations, but when I think of whatever's waiting for us in those waters, it's excitement that wins out. My grandfather once sailed with Kitten Rum. He was right there with him when they first made landfall on Tural. It wasn't Tural they were aiming for. They had left the Ursa westward bound for Hengashi. It didn't count on a great big continent lying between them and their destination. They were assured they soon forgot all about the Far East. Eventually, my grandfather settled, and here I am, 3 generations later. By all accounts, journeying with the Kitten Rum is life-changing. I mean, that in the best possible sense, of course. This isn't some foolhardy treasure hunt. No, solving the Isle's secrets will be worth more than any glittering trinket. And if we can open up safe passage to the island, there's potential to establish a permanent landing. Just imagine the boom of the two-foreign trade that would bring. All of which is to say, there's more at stake here than lining our pockets. There's no telling what awaits us on the island, which is why we have enlisted the help of experts and artisans to supplement our crew. There's one fellow we're all wishing we'd steered clear of though. After we left port, I cut the craze fool trying to launch one of the lifeboats. We managed to lock him in the hole, but the withdrawal said about drinking all the Romans. We managed to lock him in the hole, but the withdrawal said about drinking all the rum inside. In the end, we tied him up and stuffed him in one of the barrels and drained dry. Okay. Who that might be? Looks like you had a good chat with the crew. That's the thing with seafaring, a close-knit crew is indispensable out on the open sea. I know there is talk about me feats in reaching to rock, but in truth I couldn't have done it without me fellow explorers. Wherever the winds might take us, I consider it me duty to get us all there and back in one piece. Right, we'll be entering Shit's Triangle any moment now. Look sharp. Land ho! Hold steady, we sail straight for her. Aye aye. Swoosh. Where's the blasted island? We just had it in our sights. Land spotted off the starboard stern. What? Don't tell me we careered right past it. It is hot turnaround. Lost sight of the damn thing again. Shifting mirage was right on the money. The island itself was moving, the waves would be surging right over the bulwark. There is no natural phenomenon, there's something's missing with our perception. You deserved. Hit my call. Deserved or not, onwards we sail. Who are you talking to? Strange voice, you say? I didn't hear a thing. What in the... I've lost control of the rudder. It's like something's reeling us in. What's... It couldn't be the island, could it? What's happening? I like this already. The setting of the content is very good. Over here, just like that. How's the hull looking? No obvious damage, but the ship's stuck fast, almost as if we have dropped anchor. Perfectly docked, and without a single scratch. There ain't a helmsman alive who could have managed that. I fear she will end up like that if we try and shift her. I reckon we were brought here by some sort of arcane trickery. Trapped too, most likely. Magic right to your destination. Quite a stroke of luck, if you ask me. Well, there's nothing for it but to get to this expedition underway. That voice you heard on the ship? I'm starting to wonder whether there wasn't some kind of summons. I'm glad to have you with us, regardless. As for the island itself, I'd assume it was uninhabited. Certainly wasn't expecting to come across this abandoned village. Like as not, there's some sort of ward encompassing the island to keep us here. That said, there's a chance ethereal currents could circumvent the ward, assuming you can tap into one. Might be worth a try if adventure calls you elsewhere. Much as I like to gather the crew and get stuck right in, we had better secure the perimeter first. And I thought I'd give you a journal to jot down your findings along the way. Thank you. I figure there's more than a few folks out there who would appreciate a record of your exploits here. Fill those pages and give them something to sink their teeth into. If you wish to return to Tuliyola at any point during the expedition, interact with the ethereal current by the moored ship. The corresponding current at high tide harbor facilitates travel back to the cold crescent. Cold record unlocked. Collection expanded of cold record. The cold record is now available on the collection in the duty section of the main menu. New entries for permanent terms and characters will be added to the record as you explore the Cold Crescent. Cold Record 1. Catamaran Blau Piston has been added again. Okay. Catamaran Blau Pistis. The year 1497 of the 6th Astral Era, a Lominsan Sea Wolf explorer of not 20 summers plotted a westward course of Hingashi, embarking a fateful voyage that would catapult him into the ranks of legend. Unbeknownst to him and his crew, a great continent lay between them and the Far East. There was not the splendor of Kugane, but the shores of Tural that ultimately lay upon the horizon. Having made landfall, Captain Ram roamed the interior, ultimately reaching Mamuk, the vast home of the Momulja. Where he met then Autark Gulul Jaja, with whom he struck up a firm friendship. Together, the pair ranged the length and breadth of Tural, spurred on by the same adventurous spirit that led the old sailor to his mysterious isle. Phantom Village. Odd, not a single soul about. No use pondering though, we'd better take a look around while off a game stands guard. As long as the ship's safe, so are all the provisions on board. It means one less worry while we're getting our bearings. Let me know if you find anything of interest. Okay. Faintly glowing sun. Likely carved by skilled hands, this ether-infused stone exudes a faint glow. It's unclear whether stone emits light naturally or some internal mechanisms that cause illumination. The foliage choking the building and the overall state of decay suggests it has been abandoned for some time, left to the mercy of the elements. Vantage point. Two ship wrecks are visible in the eerily still bay, and adopt once crewed by brave sailors seeking the inner reaches of Shade's Triangle. Judging from their orientation, the vessels must have sunk while attempting to leave the island. There's no telling whether its souls on board were also lost to the waves. If you have finished investigating the area, then Ron would be keen to know if you're finding. This is the survey point. Oh, cool record here. The Phantom Village has been added to the code record. The Phantom Village. Perched upon the eastern tip of the occult crescent, this compact settlement is deathly silent, save for the gentle sluicing of the plaza fountain. Though its stone structures are weathered and overgrown, the orderly state of the town implies a degree of active preservation by some unknown hand. The harbor, forlorn wrecks of outbound ships, are a testament of the fearsome reputation Shade's Triangle commands. I'm guessing you're no closer to solving the Isle's mysteries either. Looking at these structures, I'd say the settlement's ancient. The original inhabitants may be long gone, but I was half hoping to find a few survivors from the wrecks at the very least. Anyhow, this building in particular took me interest. I managed to force the lock. I don't want you to think I make a habit of breaking locks in general skullduggery, other than when strictly necessary, of course. Let's take a look inside, shall we? Okay, it's a bit dark. A sarcophagus. Reckon? I wouldn't get too close if I were you. I sense arcane trickery of it. These candles aren't being kept alive by natural means, that's for damn sure. Ha! Just as I thought, experience tells me a word like this will have us jumping through the hoops to dispel it. Only you deserved may lay claim. Let me see what I can. Is that voice again? Is that voice? I didn't hear a thing. If they are addressing you in particular, methinks that word might yield to you. Okay. Sure, which is more confounding mystery, your magic touch or this godforsaken rock we're standing on? Okay. Oh. What? Tombery. Tombery. A tombery? Ah, thoroughly refreshed and raring to go. Who might you two be? Wasn't expecting the common tone. You take me for some benighted fool? How about opposite valid position given my current form? You stand before the archive, the very definition of erudition. Now hurry up and introduce yourself. Oh, 2020 is it? Those keen, searching eyes of yours. Really, you have an inquisitive mind like no other. Like my own, that is. I'm Ketenrom, an explorer hailing from Lim Salaminsa. We're here on an expedition backed by the nation of Tuliyo. Lim Salo what now? Tuliyo? I visited each of the 12 city-states and learned all there is to know about their peoples and cultures. Those names ring unfamiliar. I think a whole nation would elude me. Tell me, when exactly was this Ilujolal founded? Seventh Astral Era? I moved to the island to avoid spreading the affliction that left me, as you see, and promptly fell into deep slumber. Memory serves such a play was swept around at the end of the 5th Astral Era. I mean you have been asleep for more than 1,500 years. I would explain why I feel so well rested. Now that I'm awake, I should very much like to see what has become of the island. Oh. I certainly don't recall the memorial fountain being so begrimed with algae. Perhaps you do speak the truth. And this strange ether I sense pervading the island could be a ward of sorts. The noggin's still foggy after that eon's long slumber. There was a time when I knew all kinds of things, name of every battle, the weight of all the riches in the world at once. I was a wise old man, a gushing fond of knowledge. Say, I could be a real boon for your expedition once I get up to speed. I shall join you in your endeavors. Venture further into this mysterious isle. Okay. Since there's nothing in the settlement out to kill us, sorry. I think it's time we get the crew ashore and earning their keep. I will be right back. Hopefully we can learn more about the island from our newfound co-conspirator. Okay. But then... Record 3. The archive has been added to the occult record. Yay. Although identical in form to those gruesome figures of legend, the Tomberies, the archive is inquisitively rational and possessing of a friendly, if occasionally boastful, demeanor. He pledged to join Ketenram's expedition soon after being robbed from his sarcophagus in the Phantom Village, though it remains to be seen whether he will prove a useful asset, as the wise old man struggles to recall most of his allegedly infinite knowledge, a result of lingering grogginess from his lengthy slumber. Some other arcane process? Unfamiliar territory. You care to elaborate upon what brought you here? So this isle lies in the heart of Shade Strangle, and many a ship has gone missing in these waters? You mentioned the wrecks out in the bay. It's not unreasonable to think some of those sailors would have made it ashore. Why did no one try to wake me? Sorry. I probably took one look at you and sealed the sarcophagus back up. The door at your chamber was tightly barred. but your burly companion was able to force a lock. I dare say younger, smarter sailors would have even less trouble getting that door open. He probably took one look at you and sealed the sarcophagus back up. A ridiculous notion. I might be old, but I'm swift and sprightly. I have been up and about in a flash if they so much as shifted the coffin lid. Never mind that, I'm still puzzled by the strange voice and only I can hear. You mean to imply that someone summoned you here? Surely it wasn't me. I've been sound asleep for the last few millennia, give or take. What a tantalizing conundrum. We simply must get to the bottom of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it knowledge you seek? What manner of creature is this? A familiar, methinks. Looks like the fear is employed by Nemean scholars of El. Was it you who summoned her? Me? Preposterous. I would have summoned something more statuesque, sorry. How rude. My name is Iris, and I certainly wasn't called forth by a wizened little wretch like you. Wizened? You mean wise? You petulant little whelp. Honestly, who would ever summon a companion so lacking in manners? I know exactly what I meant, and you, sir, are lacking in wisdom. Seal has been placed upon your worldly knowledge, thus preventing its use. You can only speak of that which the lithe individual over there has seen and learned at first hand. Is that so? Well, that explains why I can't master the faintest mode of magic. I tried to heal myself earlier to no avail. Centuries of sleep, but that cold stone slap really took its toll on my lower back. Enough of you and your aching bones. Iris, your master. Let me try a different tack. Why were you summoned here? I don't know. Why? Ah, looks like someone else has had their knowledge sealed away. If I'm wizened and lacking wisdom, then you're not but an unfamiliar. I'll tell you one thing. That fury was dipped in the same ether per meeting in the island. As I surmise, there's a strange ward covering the isle in its entirety. No doubt those ships in the bay were caught in its pool. Well, wards can't just cast themselves, meaning someone's responsible for these poor souls who perished in Shade's Triangle. Methinks our focus ought to be finding out what we can about this individual. And let's not forget that strange voice you keep hearing. For all we know, it could be connected in some way. Right, let's go speak with Jeffrey over yonder. He ought to have word on progress at base camp. Okay. The story is fun, actually. It's be entertaining. Hey, Jeffrey. We're pleased to hear that preparations are well underway. I sent the advance party to scout ahead while the ship's being unloaded. I'm ready for an ideal spot to stage forays into the island's southern reaches, and are setting up camp, so to speak. When you're ready to head out, just say the word. Once you're out in the field, you will have to speak with Cat and Run and decide how to proceed. The support crew will be stationed here in town. Be sure to avail yourself of their services if you're in need. And if you are after a weaponsmith, word is we hired a truly remarkable craftsman for expedition. Judging by his reputation, he will soon have your weapons honed to deadly perfection. The smithy will be set up over yonder. We'll drop by if you're interested. Well, that's all from me. Give me a shot when you're ready to make for the encampment. Ba-da-ba-bam. Crescent South Horn now accessible. You stand up on the Crescent and chart the isle in the heart of Shade's Triangle. Whether you choose to join your fellow explorers in large-scale battles against the fiercest of foes, or take on the Crescent's denizens in a series of small skirmishes, there are many ways to proceed and much to uncover on these shores. The following pages contain a detailed explanation of what you may expect on the Occult Crescent. Read and understand them well if you would seek to unravel the island's mysteries. Level requirements. The Occult Crescent is accessible for disciples of War and Magic level 100 and above. The required average item level is 690, and item level will be sent to 700. Players may change to a different job of sufficient level while in duty. All players are subject to a separate leveling system while exploring the Occult Crescent, indicated by their knowledge level. Winning large-scale battles or slaying the island's fiends will bolster your knowledge into experience point. Facing the fiends of the Occult Crescent, your knowledge level will significantly impact the outcome of any battle. To improve your chances of survival when roaming the wilds, be sure to acquire as much knowledge as you are able. Discrepancies between your knowledge level and that of your foes will affect the damage you deal and receive. You will do well to choose your marks carefully before engaging. While exploring the isle, you may participate in critical encounters, large-scale battles for up to 72 combatants. Emerging victorious from these various endeavors will garner a wealth of knowledge and other rewards. These critical encounters are not affected by your knowledge level, they can be attempted regardless of your progress. Additionally, during the course of your expedition, the return action is replaced by Occult Return, which enables instant return to the base camp without the penalty of the lengthy as recast time. I understand what I must do. Occult Record for Iris. Iris, this ethereal familiar appeared shortly after Archive's awakening, claiming authoritatively that the man's wisdom was sealed away and can only be accessed where it concerns matters that the Warrior of Light has witnessed firsthand. What? And can only be accessed where it concerns. When pressed about her own purpose, however, she too confessed ignorance. Found in the mystery, the Archive senses the same ether that envelops the isle, emanating from the fairy. Did her master be the unseen hand presiding over the Occult Crescent? I don't know. Arcane Artistry. Someone with a relic? One. Okay. Either say Arcane Artistry. Deersail is on the hunt for missing weapons. A from adult reprobate. Wouldn't be surprised if we found him floating in the sea. Oh, half need of this mighty deed. Afraid we ain't up and running yet. If he told the weaponsmith we hired bolted before we could finish setting up the shop. Master of its craft by all accounts, but he's been nothing but trouble since he set up foot on the ship. Kept trying to escape, so we threw him in the hold. Our wolves didn't end there though. He drank most of the booze we have brought along from the expedition. I tell you, the bugger was half pickled by the time we hauled him out. Hero, the bastard's now gone and disappeared. This fellow you speak of sounds vaguely. Huh? Either you're already acquainted with the scoundrel, or yours is on to more cantankerous weaponsmith than I thought. Needless to say, there are many folk willing to sell for Shade Strangle. While we were scratching around trying to find someone, a certain enterprising woman put us in touch. He said there ain't a fine weaponsmith alive today, but he drinks like a sailor on shore of leaf, and is up to his neck in debt. He signed up for expedition to settle his use. Anyway, he can't have gotten far. It's like there is any way off this rock. If he's half as good as they say, I reckon he will be a boon for your adventure. Keep your eyes peeled. If you run into a shirtless, rum-soaked good for nothing by the name of Geralt, tell him to come save. Oh. Where's this party finder? There he is. Gerald. But a drop of rum to be had in this bloody ghost. Oh, you play with Phoebe? Huh. Funny. They are trying to re-clear M6. Perfect. There was no mention of Shade's Triangle when I signed the god's damn contract. Talk about false bloody pretenses, more fool me for trusting that witty harridan, eh? Who the hell's are? Oh, bother me. Can I do one blade job without you showing your ugly mug? That's it, there's never a dull moment when us two team up. How about we finish the job sharpish and get off this desolate rock, eh? Okay. His outfit is a bit unsettling, not gonna lie. Okay, there you go, girl. You must have had a hard time coaxing him back. Apologies for all the trouble. Right, with this mighty up and running, it's a high time you started earning your keep. Listen here, do you really think I'm going to solemnly hammer and tongues knocking out work any village smith with half a brain could handle? No, nothing less than 9 impossible feats of genius would stop me fire these days. It's the impudent sot who drank the old dry, racking up more debt in the process. You're hardly in a position to dictate terms. Now, it does seem daft for your over eye-watering sums to hire yours as finance weaponsmith, only to have him forge him playing old swords and shields. An alias, adventurer? I'm sure yours as finance weaponsmith has his own ideas. He does, as a matter of fact, devising a new means of refining weapons and armor. I couldn't help notice all the ether permeating the place. Reckon I will tap into that somehow. Perhaps I will need raw materials. Some magic warped ore from the isle should just do the trick. If it's ores you're after, our surveyors will be soon conducting a preliminary excavation. Is that all you need to start? Hardly. If that were the case, any old fool could do the job. Magical properties can be fleeting and elusive, without a means to properly harness the ether. There's every chance the ore degrade in the process. So you will require something else besides raw materials. Any inkling as to what that might be? Sometimes a foul beastie in the throes of death will leave behind a crystallized chunk of their life essence. I've used the stuff in the past, and while it ain't exactly common, I wager you will find it on this bastard rock. Whether it's unique to the island mine, I'm sure you will find it elsewhere too. Does mystery crystals have a name? Indeed it does. Demiatma. Oh no. Thanks for providing this packer of weapons we needed. Looks like he's committed to fulfilling his contractual duties, at the very least. Hey, how do you feel about handling the fin-felling part of the gambit? While you're out acquiring the Miatma, I'll see how amenable girl is to helping around this mighty. I reckon that's a reasonable division of labor. No, farming. All the same. Phantom weapons, a saga of arcane might. Yoo-hoo. The Miatma obtainable phantom weapons. The Miatma can be obtained from fates and critical encounters on the Occult Crescent's Hawthorn, and also be obtained from fates in other regions. These regions are Urkopacha, Kusamaoka, Actil, Shalwani, Heritage Found, and Living Memory. Oh, so I can also farm fates. Okay, cool. Deliver the requisite Miatma to Geralt. Journey to the Oku Crescent, Southhorn. Actually, I'm gonna leave it here. It's getting late for me. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. So, Lila, thanks for staying here with me. I hope you have a pleasant night. For me, I will go to sleep. So good night and take care. See you tomorrow morning, and during the night, yes, during the night, I will be raiding because I haven't done Savage yet. So tomorrow, I'll re-clears with my new aesthetic. Yes, I got a static, a team that wants me, appreciates me for who I am, and they recruit me. So tomorrow will be my first day playing with them. I'm very excited. I don't know how good they will be, but hey, at least I can try. They told me this week, no, the next one, I will be getting the weapon. So why not? Either way, take care.